How are we all doing? I hope you're keeping well out there. What is the story, you all? Hello, Dennis, White Sapphire, Brum Adam, Norma Donny's there as well, always ready for the chat. Now, Ray Burns here as well, R52, Kev B, Tom King. Let's see who else we've got, making sure to set this to live chat instead of top chat. Otherwise, we shall miss stuff. Michael White's here as well. Participants so far this evening are Audio Al, Dennis, R52, Kev B, Michael White, Norman Donny, Ray Board, and Tom King. And no doubt Underscore to be around. Roundy Mounty just popped in as well. Good to see. The man with the blue spanners here, so we may start. The live chat is a bit slow too. Roundy is on final approach to Cork Airport. Good timing, Roundy, so we probably won't have you with us for long if you're going to be departing an airplane and so on and forth. However, thank you for clocking in. I hope wherever you are, you had fun. You weren't over in France, were you? For those of you in the UK who might not be up to speed, France have a lot of issues from Storm Ciarán with their electricity supply, and quite a number of ESB, that's the Irish Electricity Board, lads have gone over there to help the French Electricity Board fix their power supply issues, which they often do from time to time. The ESB actually have an international wing to them. Tonight I am drinking a can of something I have not had since I was 17, believe it or not. I actually could have been younger than that. Kilkenny Draft Cream Ale. Look at that. Kilkenny. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it was actually 15 when I had a can of this. We used to be naughty boys and we used to get people to go into the off license for us because we were not. And I asked the fella to come in and get me 4 cans of Tennent's, and he came out with 4 cans of that. It was alright though. So, yeah, it is nice tack. It's a bit pricey, but it's okay. Now, let me get into the chat here and read a few bits and pieces. We have Ray Bourne, how you all doing? Tom King inquires, hello, any repair for TV for today? I never do, I don't do repairs on live streams, and I still haven't had a chance to do a video, which I want to do on a particular interesting Joe Standard television, but it could very well happen very soon. Have they tried unplugging and plugging France back in yet? I don't know, Dennis. The man to ask is Mr. Moo. The internet connector plug is probably pretty hefty, alright. Yes, indeed. No, Donny's on the line and soda. He's taking a handy. Dennis says, funny enough, I was looking at the international grid information and we were using their power yesterday. I guess if they are generating and no one using it, they can spare a few gigawatts. Indeed. Fire 64 is here. Rob's radio channel is here. And we also see an Andy of Vintage Electronics Repair. Good evening, sir. How are you? Good to have you in the chat. Fair play to you, Andy. How's Steve keeping? And Rob is here as well. What happened to my finger? I had a little accident with a saw, but it's nothing serious. It looks worse than it is with the bandagey thing on it. It's just a scratch. Indeed. Bro, madam used to drink Murphy Stout years ago. Ah, yeah. I've had a few cans of Murphy's in my time too, alright. Ah, yes. It's not bad at all. Just look around me. So how are we all keeping? Has anyone been doing anything of interest lately? We have 21 viewers with 12 thumbs up, just for your information. So we need to keep an eye on that. How do you stop Microsoft Teams from coming up every time you turn on your computer? Interesting question. If that's a scratch, I would hate to see the size of a bandage for a cut. Absolutely, Ray. Ah, yeah. No, we don't even win for all that. What's on the bench? Cap resistance inductance box or something? You really are very eagle-eyed. I take it you're talking about this box here. This. That is a Heathkit IT28. Yeah, bridge. It's a bridge and a capacitance leakage checker. And apparently your man, what you call him, Carlton's radio or Mr. Carlton or whatever he calls his face, he did one of these, and now these go for like 500 quid on eBay, which is nonsense. This was belonging to my late friend who had the television shop, and he made this himself when he was in the States. He built it as a kit back in 61 or 62, and he brought it home with him. And he never ever used it because he thought, oh, it's 110 volts, but he always meant to get around to doing it. And I brought it home one day out of the shop, and what did I find? Only a link for 220 volt on the transformer. So I got it out there the other day because it wasn't working right the last time I used it. But I tried it the other day and it's working perfect again. So I don't know. Calibration is a little bit out on it, but I wouldn't mind that too much. I'll tell you, you can use it for a couple of things, but one of the things you can use it for is you can use it for reforming capacitors. Because it will go up to 600 volt out, and actually it's a bit higher than that. I think when I measured it, could be around 700 volt out. So yeah, you can use it for reforming a high voltage electrolytics. Rob says he found another problem with his Hacker Hunter, a broken tuning capacitor. Well, that's bad news, alright. Bro Madam says he has the ICO version. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not sure. Do I have that in here belonging to ICO? I think I do. They used to be cheap. Even the Postage UK, they only go up to 500 volt though, I think. Yeah. They used to be cheap. They're not cheap anymore. Nonsense. Far 64 inquires what's wrong with my finger. I've already discussed my finger. I shall not discuss my finger anymore. Other than to say I got a scratch on my finger and it looks worse than it is. I'll just have a little sock thing around it to stop the plaster getting dirty. Andy says, I'm good, thanks, mate. Steve was here today. He is okay too. Great stuff. Is Steve still contemplating moving to the USA? I know that was on the cards there a while ago for him. It'd be a sad loss. He will be a sad loss. After Era 52 says, I found a rain-soaked tape recorder yesterday, rainy day on the flea market. Seller had left the table uncovered. Little Panasonic RQ102 was flooded. Got it for €5. After drying and oiling the mechanics, it works surprisingly well. All original belts are still usable even. Yeah, it can be interesting that. Sometimes they last, sometimes they don't. Rob says the radio that he fixed last week is still working. Good stuff. The USA, things are not that bad this side of the water. And Dennis informs me that my microphone has started buzzing again. Well, now that is a concern. Should not be doing that. We've put fresh alkaline batteries in it just as we came on. And if it was working okay and now it's gone faulty again, perhaps the microphone is faulty. So if it does become unusable, Ray Bourne says there's no buzz with him yet. Now it is possible that interesting. Of course, some of you might be a couple of seconds behind others. I don't know. Anyway, we'll party on for now. If we get a few complaints, we might just have to go on to the OBSBot microphone, although that doesn't work very well. Brum Adam says he's got fireworks for his. Of course, it's coming up to it's the 7th of November, isn't it? Guy Fawkes night, I think, if I remember correctly. Underscore, dead in arrival radio set here, diagnosed and given a rude awakening earlier in space of an hour. Shot 110 volt up its face, yo. Good man. And result? Absolutely, I'd say it worked okay. Don't be messing around. Just bang it in there. Kev B reckons it's like Beirut where he is. Yeah, you see, our fireworks are all done, and our bonfires we do for Halloween over here in Ireland. That's when all the fireworks and bonfires are. It's Halloween. You had a full Shango on it, good man. I like to stick 110 up my mum's. I'd like to stick 110 volt up my mum's carer's Jaxie. Sounds interesting. Oh, it's tonight. Oh, it's the 5th of November. Where did I get the 7th of November from? Yes. Oh dear, she ripped the door off the washing machine. That's a bit careless, isn't it? I bet she doesn't do that to her own washing machine. Dear, oh dear. Correct, Brennan. Good evening, JJ, and everyone. Good evening, Sword. I don't think we've had you in the chat before. Welcome aboard. Chipmunk says, nothing a bit of all-round band and some tech screws couldn't fix. Is why I'm 10 minutes late. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Always something. And add a buzzer when the door opens too much. Yeah, well, the buzzer is the bang when it fucking comes off the hinges. Mr. Spanner is on an airplane. He, if you go back up the chat, you'll see where he said he is currently on final approach to EICK, which is Cork International Airport. So he must be on a plane and just got the old internet and clocked in. But no doubt we won't be hearing from him again this evening if he's busy doing all that kind of stuff. I was once circling Birmingham on a flight back from Glasgow on 5th of November. Seeing fireworks from above is a unique experience. It isn't indeed. I had the pleasure of being on a flight one Halloween coming into Dublin many years ago. And it's pretty interesting already. Other engineers off for jury service, so 2 weeks on my own. This is going to be fun. Oh, there, Kev B's going to get lashed out with work. Yeah, so we've no Mr. Spanner tonight, but I'm sure we'll get on without him. Greetings from the colorist. Greetings. No flights in the air around Cork, so he must have landed safely. Yeah, yeah, he must be on the ground by now. Indeed, we have 26 watching, and we're 15 minutes into the Sunday night live stream here at 8:30 on a Sunday evening. Yeah, it's better behave yourselves than anyway. Um, so, yes, has anyone else been doing anything interesting? I haven't been doing a whole lot of interesting things this week now, to be quite honest with you. Alan Hurst is here. Good evening, Alan. A chilly South Yorkshire. Yeah, it's starting to get a bit of a nip in the air here. Nothing too severe just yet. I think it's about 7 degrees outside at the minute. Norman Donnelly fixed the backlights on a mate's TV where the old fluorescents are LEDs. LED. New strip. Two broken things this weekend. Jane's dash cam not working, out of warranty. Broke the speaker wire while opening it, but it's got dry as twist the PCB and it works. Got a new one, but we'll have a go at it. Ah, yeah, why not? Underscore says he just deleted Discord. It's an annoying as fuck app and tends to get busy at 4 a.m. People don't sleep. Chipmunk says the old CCFL tube and no TV is handy for. This is thin glass tubing. Ah. Yeah, Discord is a bit. It wouldn't be for me either now, I must admit. Kev B says the outside PIR not working. 13 quid from Tool Station. Didn't even bother with the old one. Ah, no. Sometimes, you could open it up for an interest if you were bothered, but. Chipmunk says he hated Discord at first, but once you tame it, it's quite pleasant. Chipmunk takes the relays out of the old PIRs. Underscore says he knows he can shut it up. It's more a case of its users need a life. Kevy Wevy Wills here. We have royalty among our ranks this evening. Kevy Wevy Will being a. What would we say about Kevy Wevy Will? He's a man who knows what he's talking about. I think that's what we'll say about him. Good evening, so good to have you aboard. How are you keeping? Don't think I've seen you posting in the UK VR forum lately, although I haven't been paying much attention either, so I could be talking from the hole. Good to have you here anyway. Chipmunk fires up Discord and protest. Look, they get very touchy about their Discord, these Discord fellas. Kevy, are you in on Discord? He's full of liver and onions tonight. Oh, that sounds nice. Liver and onions. Jeez, I haven't had that in a long time. Yeah. I could go in for a bit of that. So how many Kevs have we got in the chat at the minute? Only two, I think. We have Kev B as well, who is our tame metrology specialist. Where is Mr. Tranfield? Idle on parade. Yeah, well, I would suspect Mr. Dranfield is probably sitting in his house, looking at his phone, waiting for a notification that he never gets, and then he'll complain that he didn't get a notification when he checks in at like 10:30 or something. That's the usual Michael Day strategy. Odgenodge, did you get your TV working? No, I didn't. This is the Solara Ipsala J chassis that we found full of water that we thought was waterproof, and then we thought wasn't waterproof. Then proved to be waterproof, but has since proved to us all that it is not waterproof. We got it going again here the other night. We spent a few minutes on it, and then there was a flash and a bang around the line output stage, and I lost interest. I think it's done in the chip, the snazzy little Solara chip, and that's it. We're not going any further with it, I'm afraid. As I did say, we have one of those, a television in good condition with one of those chassis, which needs, I think it needs a line output transformer, but I can't remember. So that's where all that's going to be going. So it's had its day, but it went out in a blaze of glory. So that's where that is. Unfortunately, just watched Shango's new TV Resurrection whilst frying my onions. Sounds good. Jim Simpson's here from sunny Scotland. Good evening, gentlemen. I'm here to get away from all the craziness on the news. Well, we don't talk about the news, politics, religion, or any of those things here. So you're in a safe space for all that, as everyone is aware. It comes here. Politics is strictly banned. Because I'm sure there's no way that everyone here will agree on everything, and there's no point getting into rows and debates. There's other outlets for such things. However, you can mention cars. Alan Horst says he has repurposed PIR, left all the charred LEDs inside, stuck a load of 24-volt white LED strips on the outside, and made a floodlight over my bench. That sounds interesting. Chipmunk says, bang, bang, Solara. Solara bangs all day. Yes. Well, it doesn't bang anymore. There's one bang left in it. I'll let you guess what that is. No to cars, you upset Just Stop Oil. Oh, don't tell me there's Just Stop Oil people here. Right? No politics. There could be. You know. Norman Donnelly could be a member of the Just Stop Oil Brigade. I don't know. I'm not pointing fingers. Sounds like a big Clive solution. He refurbished his bench with bench LED this week. I seen that actually, Kev. Love making stuff out of scrap bits, yeah. So do I. Norman Donnelly says he is not a member of Just Stop Oil, and I have a statement from the solicitor here which I'd like to read out, which states, I, Norman Donnelly, have nothing to do with Just Stop Oil. Any suggestion will incur legal proceedings. GCHQ software developer jailed for stabbing NSA agent. The Register has excellent headlines. That's a good one, Ollie. I wonder what that was over. You just reminded me to check my info for starting cars. It's only the size of a mobile phone, but delivers enough kick to start and run a car from dead. Yeah, I've seen them all right. They're handy enough. Kev B says it's just a case of just use air to blow any dust off. Probably owe them a point. Yeah, sounds like a reasonable excuse for stabbing someone. The world is a very strange place at the moment. Let's all hide in our sheds away from it. Who fancies a bit of London's burning flashlight action? Oh. London's Born, remember that? I always wanted one of these as a kid. Yeah. And they look so cool. Now against that modern Nebo flashlight or whatnot, they don't look so cool. But they're still cool. That makes sense. What I love about the old tungsten lights is you get that you know, that hole in the middle. What's that about? You know, that dark hole in the middle you get when you focus them. I don't know. Anyway. Stopped working now. That's sad, isn't it? It was a bit dodgy. I need to clean the garage now. Anyway, just turn on the light again. Yeah, London's Born on flashlight. Anyway, back at the ranch and in that chat. I watched Project Farm's review of the Supercap version of the engine starter. Incredibly effective. Now, a mate of mine had a Supercap boost pack. One of the big ones for down buses and trucks and stuff. And it was a piece of crap. It was great when he first got it, but only lasted a couple of months. I never looked at it to see what the crack was with it, but it sounds like the cap stuff's wore out or something. I don't know. The old fire brigade lights in the 70s, they used to have the military version with the signal lenses, all olive drab. I've seen them as well, yeah. There was also a black one of these too. There we go. Oh, almost. Trying to make a lawyer out of me. It's amazing how technology moved on, alright. The tip of the bulb messing with the focus usually. Yeah. The American, what was the big American steel flashlight, of which I have loads around here, because everyone started throwing them out and they were mad money. They were notorious for that. We have the Noco boost pack, flat lithium cells, works well. My other half collects vintage Christmas lights. Are you going to dig out yours this Christmas, JJ? I certainly hope to, Kev. I certainly hope to dig them out, alright. Now it starts working. I think we'll have to do a job on that. Yeah, the plan is to dig them out anyway. Maglights, of course. Maglite. You know when the mine goes blank? Yeah, they are Maglite torches. I've loads of them. Well, when I say loads, I've like 5 or 6 of them. Different shapes and sizes. Because everyone has started throwing them out in favour of LEDs. Now, I know you can get an LED upgrade for those, but I still don't like the fact that you have to get a load of D cells still. Why don't they do a rechargeable pack, you know, the size of 2 or 3 D cells that you can plug a USB into to charge it up, and you just throw it in and just, I don't know. There's solutions to all these things. London's Burning did get a lot of flack for going down to the motorway and filming, while the UK's largest accident, even today, was handled by multiple fire brigades. Jesus, that's a bit poor taste there, alright. But, you know, they didn't think back then about stuff like that, did they? The way they would now. A mate of mine was a copper, and the British police had the 4-cell ones. He used it for the truncheon, as it was better. Ooh, bit naughty. The truncheon, you see, yeah, I work with a man who was in the Met for a couple of years. He didn't last long. He got out back in the 80s. He was in the Met from 79 to 81. But he was saying that the truncheon was really light, and you could break it handy enough. If you hit someone hard enough with it, break it. It was only for, self-defense. It wasn't for beating the shit out of someone, obviously. And I think that was the whole idea. Why they weren't, really heavy or that. But obviously, you hit someone with a 4-cell maglite, they're gonna know about it. Well, you kill someone stone dead if you caught them on the head. But interesting. Let me see, catch up with the chat. Chipmunk says, I have one of those sealed beam torches that uses a huge 6-volt screw on ignition battery as a base. Oh yeah, I've seen those. Norman Donnelly has just been informed. Feck you, YouTube. A 10-cell. A 10-cell maglite. A 10-cell maglite. Jesus, how long was that? Ahoy, Erlana. The 10-cell was a limited run, no spare bulbs except the one hiding in the spring. Jesus, what then? It would have been like a 12-volt bulb? I know it would have been 15 volts, but the bulbs are always rated a bit lower, so they were a bit brighter or what have you. So probably like a 12-volt or maybe a 13.5-volt bulb or something like that. Jesus, a 10-cell. Kevin Webb says he has his B&K 46 tester out for the week. Had to blow the dust off it. Yeah, sounds good. What about the tube? Dennis says, when buying certain Motorola HD radios, always check for hair and blood in the grills if it was used by security. Yeah, tasty, alright. Kev B, I had a free Tandy torch, great body, Rengleds surround. The torch was free, but took 80 cells. Oh, I see what they were doing there, Kev. Very clever. Yeah, that'd be the way to go, or like a couple of SLAs in there. The output from 10 1.5 volt batteries when new was over 18 volts. Yeah, yeah, they'll push the boat a bit. A CNC lathe monitor repair. You got those bang in an old LCD there. A good man, Kev. I like to hear you're keeping all this old shit going. It's interesting that the two Kevins here both work in keeping old shit going. Kev B is our tame metrology specialist and works on old crap from time to time. Using carbon, they work for Odge mic. They're not working Odge mic today. We're on the expensive alkaloids tonight. Hard to find a source for 28-volt Lilliput bulbs on Friday. Seems RS have stopped doing them. Not cheap. Yes. Where would 28-volt Lilliput bulbs be used other than that? Aviation. That's the road to go down. Boeing 737 cockpits, I'd say, be full to the neck of them. Or if you know any Ryanair pilots, ask them to sky a few out of the spare bulbs box in the cockpit. Nah, says Kev. The frequency are a bit funny. Stick with what you've got. Chipmunk has a few. Claire testers pass lamp in the Earth-bound probe. I think aviation was mostly midget flange. Yeah, we used to have midget flange bulbs in the buses, in the coin drop boxes, and they were also in the gear selectors. We had buses called Bombardiers, which were a mad fucking thing altogether, because they had the two-stroke Detroit in them with a 3-speed Allison gearbox, and the later ones had an electric change with a toggle, and they had lights for each gear you were in, neutral and reverse, and they used those flange bulbs as well, 28-volt flange bulbs. Dennis says a lot of filament bulbs are able to be substituted with LED bulbs now. I found several of all types. I think they put 2 LEDs back to back, so it doesn't matter which way the polarity is. Isn't that right? Kevy Wevy Roo says he used to repair the Claire testers for the Creta factory here in Staffordshire. You see, the two Kevs would get on well now, I'd say. If they sat down over a pint, they'd have a good yap. I found Manx Radio on FM 97.2. Good man, Rob. I've tried to receive that a couple of times here. Once or twice. If I go up onto the local hill here, though, I can get it. Kev Big, talking of old shit, got an Ava 8 this week. The one with the blue flex, Mark 5, yeah, Mark 5. I was working on one of them this week too. It's the flex that's faulty. Problem is repair one trace and the other goes. Yeah. I'd be tempted to scrap it, Kev. I'd be tempted to scrap that. Now, I must say, I have a couple of Mark 5s, and they're actually my favourite. I know the Mark 3 is probably the best, but I like the Mark 5s. I just find them a little bit more ergonomic. The Mark 6 and the Mark 7 are a waste of time. They all have open circuit movements in them now. See, Kevy Wevy Rules knows what you're talking about as well. Yeah, you lads are the... Kev B doesn't scrap much. No, he's right too. How dare you? But one dead Avo could help 10 more Avos live. Unfortunately, that's the way it is now, because Avo don't do spares for Avos anymore. Loads of wire and just keep jumping the flex till it works. Yeah, just do away with the flex. Replace one bit at a time and then till there's no more flex. The flex is crap, alright. And sometimes when people have been not so careful with them, they vaporize the flex, which can be interesting. Yeah. And the death knell and the open circuit movement, and the Mark 6 and the Mark 7 are notorious for it. If you are going to buy an Avo, you can buy any Avo you want, but don't buy a Mark 6 or a Mark 7 Avo 8. Lots of salt and iron burns. Torn EMI instruments. Yeah, I think it went downhill a little. I think the Bing counters got into them a little bit after that. We have 28 people watching. with 21 thumbs up. Just for your information. It is approaching 5 to 9. Jim Simpson said he's still dreaming of Avos. Chipmunk said, yeah, scrapping Avo 8. How dare you? But all I can hear is that in Greta Thunberg's voice. What's up with the fluke? The fluke got wet. Then I dried out the fluke. Then the fluke started flattening batteries. And now the fluke's not working properly. I opened it up again and took the hairdryer to it and whatnot. And it's just acting a maggot now. And I'm not going to do any more with it because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to end up breaking it. So I'm going to send it to you. And don't fret. Don't get too carried away with it, Kev. We won't get too upset. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do as well, Kev. When I send it to you, I'm going to send another one to you too. You know the Fluke 110 I was talking about that needs the knob? If I send that over to you, you can hold on to it. And then if you find a knob for it, you'll know it's a knob that will fit because you'll have it to try it. Yeah, I might do that. Is there anything particularly you want me to send over to you as well, Kev? Is there anything you're looking for while I'm making up a package for you? Sexton Mallard is here. Good evening, sir. Are you still associating yourself with the county of Cork? I know you used to be, I think you were working in Cork at one stage. Kevy Webby used to repair the AVOs for the English electricity boards. All the teams had them. They are bloody good quality for mains use. Would they be allowed to use them today, though, because they don't have CAT ratings on them? Probably not. I use my Avo 7 every day at work. Great on ohms for semiconductors, especially thyristors. I have two Avo 7s here, Kev, but both of them have been used to the stage where they're completely wore out. They're not here, they're in the container, so I can't show them to you. I bought them quite cheap at the MVCF over the years. One of them has been used so much, all the writing is worn away out of the Bakelite. All the marks. It's unbelievable. And I think they've been dropped a couple of times in that, but I just keep them as ornaments more so than anything else. But I am on the lookout for a good condition Avo 7. I'm sure I'll find one cheap enough at some stage. I have an Avo 40 as well, which I must dig out. I used to use that quite regularly too. And then I have an Avo 12, which I use in the motor industry end of things, which is very useful. And it's an incredibly sturdy meter. You scrape the writing out with a needle and then fill in the engraving back in with Tipp-Ex. Oh, it's not that. What I mean is not the writing on the inside the knobs that's gone on the Avo 7. It's actually, you know, the AC/DC, you know what it says on the meter, it has it embossed. So let's see if I explain this, which you'll know anyway, but just for others. So this is an Avo 8 Mark III, right? Which is not what we're talking about. But the Avo 7 is similar, but it has the ranges embossed instead, like this, and it's completely wore away. In fact, the fingers are nearly through the faceplate. So whoever bought it really cherished it, and you must have used it their whole working life. Medi, hello, sir. Chipmunk used to use China graph pencil. Interesting. The Crackle is here as well. Hello. Oh, 43 Admiralty pattern. It's probably like an Avo 7 then, is it? From Cork. Hello. So, getting back to Sexton Mallard. In England for now, hope to be back in Cork in January. Yeah, very good. Excellent. We have 31 people watching right now with 28 thumbs up. I use my Drummond lamp for testing the output of inverter drives, rated 230 to 415. I've never seen a Drummond lamp. I've only read about them. So, yeah, I don't know much about them. Is it a neon lamp that's inside them, or what's inside them, or what way did it work? Chipmunk has 2 hanging next to him. It's a says pilot lamp with a fuse and a dropper resistor cord. Ah, okay. 15 watt rough service pygmy lamp with series resistors. I see. See, every day is a skill, eh? Oh yeah, that other thing I did ask you about, yeah. AVO meters not being cat rated. Can they be used anymore in professional settings such as electricity distribution and so on and forth? Michael Tranfield is here, more royalty. Just back from the fireworks display with the grandkids. Good man, Michael. Good to have you aboard, sir. I have a more modern Drummond lamp with a neon across the lamp in case the lamp blows. Oh, yeah, I like the sound of that now. That's clever. Jeff B says either that or copy a white window but lights red. You've seen pics and nuance. Yeah, that's interesting. Indeed. The Peak District LCD King. I don't know if he wants to be the king of LCDs. I think that's true. More so necessity than. Is that a heat kit on the bench? I'll be quite honest with you. There's actually 2 heat kits on the bench. It is indeed. It's an IT28, Michael. It was belonging to my good friend John, who built it up himself when he was over in the States. And it does appear to be working. Yes, send all your flat panels up to Buxton. Yeah, I meant to get in touch with you during the week, Michael. There's something I want to run past you. I don't know if you're going to be on for it or not, but if I don't try, I won't win. The Drummond lamps are bloody handy on domestic work for that precise reason. A multimeter, even modern Fluke-approved tester, will give ghost readings indeed. Yeah. If it's beer I'm on, there could be beer involved, Michael, but yeah. Yeah, we'll see. If there's curry you're on as well. I never seen anyone. We went out for the curry The last time I was over with Michael, we went out for he quite graciously brought me out to Buxton, which we found was closed at 10 o'clock on a Friday night. However, wandering around Buxton, we found a Chinese, which looked like some old Dare's living room. So the two of us went in and sat down, and little old Dare came out. And Michael says, I want to eat something hot. And Michael likes spicy food, he says. So I just thought, I'll just have the house special with, or the prawns and stuff, So this stuff, I don't know what it was, came out to Michael. But he actually started to melt. It was quite interesting. I've never actually seen someone melt before. Fair play to him though, he finished it. That was a bloody good night, Michael. Yeah, we'll do that again, sir. Absolutely. If it can light a 15-watt lamp, it can light me up too. Indeed. Yeah. When I was at school, I saw the council electrician tracing a fault using a 60-watt light bulb soldered to a pair of 6BA threaded bars wrapped in cloth tape. Yeah, that sounds, that's probably Cat 4, is it? Approved. We used to have continuity testers that were bulb, probes, and plug. 6BA threaded bars are also what the Drummond lamps use as probes. Oh. Noel Conway is here, everyone. We all extend our greetings and salutations to Mr. Conway. Who else have we got here? Did I miss anyone to come into the chat while I was? It's quite possible I did. If we did, I apologise, but I think I have you all covered. Let's have a look at the participants, just to make sure. Participants for the last couple of minutes have been Noel Conway, of course, Kev Big, Kevin Woo, Michael Trafford, Mike Gardner, and the Chipmunk. And there's 34 people viewing with 31 thumbs up. And the poll has an overwhelming majority, or 91% of you would like to see more polls. Or well, would like to see us have a poll. 8% of you, however, are not so keen on polls. And we do apologise. However, this is not a democracy. There's a few airplane jokes going on around here. On that line, I have a whole box of 4BA screws for when we find older black boxes. Black boxes. Underscore reckons he only comes here for the polls. Yeah, you're thinking of different polls and stuff. Zunderscore. If that is your real name. More polls than Warsaw Airport. On their way in, are they? Alan Horst was away. He was on Cup of duty. He is back now. KW Rue says polls are a sticky subject in Staffordshire Moorlands as we are about to get fibre and they want to put it up on polls. So far, everything is underground and neat and tidy. Now they're going to bang up big stupid poles all across your moorlands. And it's not going to be good. No, they're mad into sticking poles up in places, all right. Let us see. Progress is progress. There was an amp on Marketplace. Asked me to pick it up. Got amp CD tuner CD copier for £10. Also came with one of the old multi-way mains things that use kettle plugs. Plastic is brittle on it. Ooh, not so good. That in Fairham and Gosport too. Tube, that is. Places. Underground distribution. Getting overhead fibre. Ugh, yeah, nonsense. Start a poll. Let's see, a poll. Let me think now. There's a poll. There you are. Tick a box on that. Let's have another can of Kilkenny Draft Irish Cream Ale. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're wasting ale. That's never good. Why does it do that? Well, I do try to cause a little bit of controversy at times. To keep it interesting, you know? We'll deal with that tomorrow. Let me see. Now, because I need to catch up with this. I grew up with overhead phone, electric and lines and always coming down in storms. So far, so good here. Heaven knows what they do now. Then you have big laddie full of straw pulling down the lines. Has happened to us a few times. Yeah, that happens already. Radio channel, yep, in rural areas that could be an issue. On high traffic routes, they specify 4.5 meter poles. Makes sense. Yeah, we didn't know fibre or the internet had reached Gosport. Gosport's a place I drove through once. Norman Donny doesn't know who either of these gentlemen are. That's all right, Norman. Ignorance is bliss. Just remember, John Joe, Odge is the best YouTuber out there. Closely followed by Mr. Dranfield. Sorry, Michael. Oh, Shango gets my vote. He's a bit crackers like myself. Michael Dranfield has no idea who they are either. No. Did you know Michael has never left Buxton in his whole life? Isn't that incredible? Loads of Irish bills soon to appear in my fridge this Christmas. 2 bottles of Baileys. Oh, you know what you do? There's a... Now, you like this. Have a hot Baileys. Yeah. You know, Bailey's hot, and you pour whiskey into it as well, and it blows the bollocks out of you. You'd love it. You can also have it ice cold too, but yeah, interesting. Dreadful pouring for a pro. It wasn't my fault. Something obviously happened to can between here because everything was good. But look, we're all right. We're gonna get by. That's nice how attack that. It's a pity I only have the 2 cans with. Underground phones are good, but our estate was built in the halfway period And it's underground, but not ducted, so there's no ductwork for the fibre to go in. Sorry to hear you drove to Gosport. Is that what you caused you to start drinking? And I was drinking long before I got there. Hot Baileys, yes. Yeah. Don't want to evaporate the alcohol. Yeah, well, you heat it up and then you drink it real quick. You don't hang around, Kev. Get it into you. Kind of try that. Yeah, no, I must ask Mrs. Jones what the recipe was. We had it when we were in Lanzarote for Christmas one year. Rather pleasant. Don't remember much about it though. When I am cold, I mean, that's why you add the whiskey. Exactly. Keep up the old alcoholic volume content. Right. The poll is in more or less. How many people voted? 17 votes. There were people, 30 people watching. Now, granted, I did not vote myself. Should I cast my vote now? Should I cast my vote? Oh, I'll cast my vote. Am I allowed vote? You know what? I'm not allowed vote. I'm allowed vote here though. How many votes is that then? Let's see. $20 votes. Out of 33 people watching, there's 30. 13 people can't be arsed getting up the vote. We call them, well, I love fairness for the general election, that'd be a good turnout, wouldn't it? It's nearly 60% turnout there. 57% turnout for the general election, that's not bad. Right, end poll. It's not as straightforward as one would have thought. 69%. Where's the 1% gone? Interesting. Anyway, Shango takes it. Wanted to watch a certain film, $3.99 to stream rent or £8 to buy. Went to Sex and bought the Trilogy Bond Blu-ray for £3. That's the thing to do, Kev, because at least you have it in your hand and you own it. I remember a mate of mine years ago talking about all these tunes on iTunes and all that he owned, you know, and how great it was. Well, you don't own it. A very right-wing chap, Shango, in my opinion. Well, that's why we don't get into politics here. He takes a different approach to all that, and he enjoys political debate and encourages it in his videos. I don't. For several reasons. Although my biggest one is politicians are all arseholes. So I will be debating what they have to say. Those dickheads. Anyway, I find it distracts from the tech content. I do too, Chipmunk. I do too. He's a bit more real world. Carson has too much expensive gear. He is a ridiculous amount of expensive gear. And I fear that someday he's going to be found underneath a big pile of oscilloscope. Oh, I reckon he'll actually be buried in a tech oscilloscope. Tech will probably be, Tektronix will probably be sponsoring his funeral. I think Shango was trolling mostly. I get that feeling when watching his video. Yeah, I think he's acting the bollocks mostly, to be honest. I don't think he's actually as into it as he lets on or whatever. I don't think he's a Trump supporter, and I don't think he's definitely not a Biden supporter. I don't think he's a Trump supporter either. I think he's does a wind-up merchant. Politicians are not arseholes. Arseholes are useful. Well, you'd have to shit out through something, alright. Rich Lip says, good evening all. Richard here in Croydon, Denmark Hill, now at King's College University Hospital. Good to have you aboard, Rich Lips. I'd vote so long as we could fix the politicians the way the French fix royalty. Chipmunk says it only take one of those scopes to kill him. It'd only take one of those scopes to kill him. Yeah, imagine if they all turned on him. Kev B, I don't get involved with politics, but one headline on the news boiled my piss yesterday. Go on, Kev. Tense. Go on, Kev. I'll make an exception. You can tell me what this is about because I didn't hear this. Well, Kev, you every woo. That is something that is lost, isn't it? I mean, everyone since time has begun has had differing political beliefs, different personal beliefs, religious beliefs, but they always had an ability to meet somewhere in the middle. I mean, that is the whole idea of life, but that has been lost, where people have become so polarized now, and it does, where their political views does come into every aspect of their life and being, which is very sad. So I appreciate your very rare thing where you say you can respect for their technical expertise. That you may be opposite to your political views, yeah, but it's nice that you can say that. Suella Braverman, yeah, saying homeless people living in tents was a lifestyle choice. Okay, donkey. Good for her. Yeah, it's that bloody Home Secretary of ours. I mean, Secretary. She now wants to make it illegal for homeless people to have tents because she thinks Hitler was a bloody role model. Yeah, there's not much choice for you. Or folks, I get a grip and give the charity some money to play with. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't hear that. Okay, we'll leave politics there. Rich Slips, the guy with the dodgy liver, don't complain. I want to support when I watch the show. Thank you very much, sir. I hope your liver gets boxed off soon. Thank you very much. That's greatly appreciated, sir. Press this button. What do we do with this? Thank you very much. I appreciate that greatly. I do hope you feel better soon. And I hope that my little show here on a Sunday evening gives you a little bit of solace and takes you away from all that for an hour. Thanks very much. That will go towards some Kilkenny draft for the next live stream. Swiftly moving on from politics, which we really, really should. Yeah. Oh, by the way, a quick question. Has anyone seen an ad on tonight's live stream? Thanks for the allowance to bitch about Brever. That's all right. I will allow stuff like that from time to time. That's not even political. That's just calling out just nonsense. There's a difference, Chipmunk. And I'm all for calling out bullshit when I say it too. Yeah, that's not even political. That's just, I don't know. Taking tents off. Look, there's all different reasons why people end up on the street. And look, I was a bus driver in Dublin for 10 years and I know all about homeless people. I watched that over 10 years go from bad to worse to completely fucked. And there's all sorts of reasons why heads are intense in the street. And there's drugs and there's this and there's that. There's mental health issues and all. You know, and I had some nasty dealings with homeless people and all sorts of just whatever. Like, but to go and take someone's tent off them, you know, on a cold, windy fucking winter's night and go down to someone and say, you can't stay in that tent. I think that is just, there are no words to describe how someone could come out with that. That is unbelievable. That is disgusting. Anyway, yeah. So I've no problem with calling out shit like that. No ads yet, no ads yet. You should not see any ads because this live stream and all live streams from now on have been demonetized because they did not give me the option to turn off midstream ads and stuff. And there's no point anyway because they run the ads but they don't give me any money for them. So you should not see any ads. George Christophe is here. Good evening, George. Thank you for calling in, pal. Finger bang. Dennis, the majority of the homeless are like that because we have let them down, either failing the mental health or failing them with affordable homes. Absolutely. So, yeah. You see, this is where we're going to draw the line on this now because we'll say something that some people agree with, some people won't agree with, and all that. So we'll just leave it there. However, we're all have different opinions and stuff, but we also probably can find middle road, middle ground, what's going on in the world. The world is a very strange place. But yeah, it's sad. George has the flu. Life isn't good for George. We send George best wishes. Everyone's thinking of George. And everyone is thinking of Rich Clips as well, who is trying to grow a new liver. We send you all good wishes. Already had YouTube. You are using an ad blocker warning last week. Middle ground is best. Stops home. It does indeed. I am convinced that Suella Bay doesn't have a heart. She is officially the woman with a tin heart. Andy Doswell's television workshop is here too. So we've had various Andys in here tonight. We've had several Kevins, Kevs, and we have had several Andys in because Andy of the Vintage Electronics Workshop was in earlier on. Good evening, Mr. Doswell, sir. Thank you for calling in. I changed ad blocker on my system to get around the playback is ad blocked thing. George Mustafi wants to starve YouTubers. I didn't say that. Hi Andy, just seen your Amstrad CD player YouTube video. I have not seen it, Andy, but I will. I want one of those Amstrads now. Anyone wanting an Amstrad? Jesus. Andy, you should have been a salesman for Alan Sugar. If you can make people want an Amstrad, you must be doing something. I love that thing. The crock with the doors. I pay more than YouTube premium fees and super chats to the people I support. I want money going to the creators, not ad spammers. Good man. That's the way to have it. Yeah, I was thinking about doing something else though for people who wanted to give me donations because Google, I think, takes 60% of all donations I get, which is a bit fucking strong. Although I'm sure they're going to clamp down on that too. This, buy me a coffee and Patreon and all that. I'm sure YouTube are going to clamp down on all that too because they want that money coming direct into them. Although, as we discussed last week, the way YouTube is going, I mean, we probably need some sort of a replacement service at this stage, but there's nothing there at the minute. That's not to say there won't be in the future, though. Amazing AI technology on the Beatles song. I haven't heard it yet, Audio Al. New pipe on Android doesn't get any ads. It's not an ad blocker. It's an open source replacement for the normal YouTube app. It's a complete replacement for the no ads. Screen off if you want. Oh, must try that. What's it called? Something pipe. New pipe. Oh, I must have a look at that. If I'd had the sliding doors on my hi-fi when I was a teen, I'd have wet myself with excitement. Jesus Christ, Ken. Ian Deacon is watching quietly. Shut up, lads. If Google was less evil, I'd not mind funding their platform either. Yes. Every time they stop it, I just refresh the filter and get playback again. Yeah, I do that too. I think there's one on eBay now, faulty. Ooh. Andy Doswell has upset the market now for Amstrad shit. Ooh, pumping and dumping. Andy Doswell probably has a load of them half broken in the shed, and he's pumping and dumping on the market, like the audio fields done. Then I am funding Google already. Andy Doswell says, thanks for the joystick, Kev B. Oh, I thought it was 30% John Joe. I don't know. Some fucking obnoxious amount anyway. Andy Doswell just sent in a few quid as well. Thanks very much, Andy. That's unbelievable. Thanks very much, lads. He's been generous enough now tonight. Jesus Christ. Arjun, to be fair, it can't be cheap to run the huge bandwidth YouTube takes. True. Yeah. To be fair, we wouldn't have this forum either that we have. So we should be grateful. It's fine, in my honest opinion, for them to take that percentage, but they should be open about it. Tell people, if you donate this much, the creator will get X and we will get Y for providing the bandwidth. Yes. YouTube has already started making it hard for YouTubers to promote external services that bypass them for payments like Patreon. Oh, I didn't know that. There you go. Or try Grey J or Revamix said ads blocked. Huh. Two of my B&O hi-fis have sliding doors. No, Donny. B&O was Star Trek Stereo. John Joe, if you give me your personal something address, I'll directly will PayPal you directly. That's a promise. Oh, there's no need for that, Rich, but thanks very much. You've heard that of the Delia effect. Now Dawes is selling out Amstrads. Yeah, he's a bad man. Our Mr. Doswell. Never bought any Amstrad guff. I'm sure they've had some kind of crap through here with Amstrad that's slapped on the front of it, but I don't think YouTube struggle for a bad. No, neither do I. YouTube Premium is a good idea, but advertisers themselves don't like it. Of course they don't. You're bypassing them. We have Vinny here as well. Good evening, Vinny, sir. How's it going? Nodge? Not so bad, thank you. Life is good. The Amstrad is copied off B&O, and I think there is a Nakamichi. I read that as a Nakato. Delia Smith led to a shortage of saucepans one year. Jesus, people were stuck. Remember we had Christmas Eve 1988? It's not Christmas until Alan Rickman falls from the Nakatomi Plaza. Just filmed my first repair vlog, but I doubt it'll be a success. I talk too fast in real life. Kev, I'm going to tell you something now. Bit of free advice off one of vintage electronics' most popular YouTubers. Just fucking stick it up. Right? And go from there. Do not delay. Put your video up today. I should have started doing YouTubing years ago. And it's only because Mrs. Odgenodge pestered me into doing it that I eventually grabbed the reins, come out here one night and made a shit video, which was shit. And look at me now. And don't worry about editing too much. Don't get worried about having, like it's nice to be Andy Doswell with all the bells and whistles, but you don't need it. You don't need it. You can just go out there. I don't do any editing. I make my videos in one take. Now that doesn't always work out so well, but you can add all the bells and whistles. But the reason why people are watching YouTube is because they're sick of bells and whistles. They just want content. So just go out and do it. That's what I'd say to you. When I come out here, if I'm making a video and say that like the slaughter of televisions make the video, put the telly up on the bench, set the phone up on the tripod. I use a phone, don't have a camera or anything. Press play, and then when I want to go and do something, press pause, and then I press play again, and I do that till the video's made, and that's it. And if I don't get it all done in one shot, I'll put that up as part one of a whatever part. And I don't go in for editing too much. Because I haven't got the time more so than nothing else. It takes ages. But yeah. I play my videos and podcasts. So one half was people talk too slow. Talking fast is good. Getting better. He says, it's her fault it is. Thank you, Mrs. Odgenodge. Yes, you have her to blame. I still make shit videos, said George Christophe. George Christophe's videos are pretty snazzy. He's all the bells and whistles as well. He's got a little do for all switches on it. You can turn on cameras and all that kind of stuff. Happy Harry Potter month to everyone. KU says, this will need editing too many expletives as I burn myself or drop screws on the floor. I wouldn't worry about that either, Kev. Doesn't matter. Just stick it up there and see how it goes. And if it's not a success, then you can go back and edit it and all. By the way, only 49 days till Christmas, says Mr. Tandy. I find editing process quite cathartic. You see, then there's strange people like that. Same here. You could never film my attempts. You must have a decent PC. I'd say Andy's PC is that cooler. Probably hovers off the desk. So much power in it. YouTube content over style, unlike Discovery History Channel style and special effects showing how aliens invented pyramids. Over actual content. Yes. White Sapphire is a bit late. How could she be a bit late when she was the first person in the stream? I don't understand. This is baffling. I mourn the loss of the Scrutiny TLC, etc. Yeah, it's not shit. Rich Clip says, I still have that BBC tube modulator for you too, plus scopes and a Lab Gear TV pattern generator if you want them, if you're near Croydon someday. I don't know when I'm going to be in Croydon. Probably no time soon. But if I do find out I'm going to Croydon, I'll let you know. There was a time a couple of years ago before COVID when we used to be buying and selling buses, and we used to be over there quite a bit. Not in Croydon, but in Thurrock North. We could have made a trip. But anyway, I'm sure we'll get over there at some stage. Thank you very much, sir. Norman, Donny has a video on YouTube of his house getting flooded. Oh, Jesus. No one wants that, Norman. Nobody wants that. Who have we got here still? Do we still have... Is Rob's Radio's channel still here? It's probably there somewhere. Who else have we got? White Sapphire. My last YouTube video took 2 hours to upload. Is that normal? How long was it? And what's your internet connectivity like? Generally, if I upload a video, it takes, 10-minute video, 15-minute video. Could take half an hour to upload, alright. Could. maybe a bit quicker. I have got good internet here. We fibre into the gaff and it's pretty hot. I'm sick of my videos after editing as I've listened to myself for too long. Average time editing about 8 hours. Yeah, that's why I don't do video editing. Chipmunk says he'll shout both of us a pint if we're in Croydon. Ooh, I've got an excuse to go to Croydon now. I joined when at White Sapphire joined. Hold on, let me. I'm getting a bit behind on the chat here. I joined when White Sapphire joined, but I was too busy to say hi. I said hi a bit later and no response. Oh, I am sorry, Dennis. I left that comment before the stream began. Went for a nap, just woke up. Fair enough. Oh, you're lucky we're still on. The Chipmunk went to Croydon once for a meeting. Never again. Rich Lip says they're free to you, otherwise I will eBay them. Just let me know and you'll get the money instead. Stop, Rich. I have an upload speed of around 800k. Ooh, I don't know. What do you think, George? George Mustafi is the YouTube king. Yeah, that 2 hours. Yeah, it could do. Like, you're signing up for better overhead fibre, yeah. You want that flashing red light coming straight in the gaff. Andy Doswell used to live near Croydon till they asked him to leave. Can't change them, and this entire network does. Oof. I usually upload in 2K. It takes 10 minutes to upload, 10 minutes on my 1300 megabyte connection. Well then, yeah, that's probably about right then, isn't it? Not always, Jim. Tube offers symmetric 900 megabyte. Oh. 1300 megabyte connection, yeah. My download speed is 5 megabytes. Ooh. Yeah, you want to get that overhead line right in the front door there. Absolutely. What's the instrument on the bench tonight? It is a Heathkit IT28. Get out and take your stinking radio transmitter with you. Oh dear, Mr. Doswell. It's a Vodafone router and I can't swap it out for a new one. It takes a long time to learn the line again and there is no way I'll see fibre here. I'll show you. Let me see. Participants in the live chat at the minute are Dennis, Andy Dozzle, George Mustafi, Jim Simpson, KWU, Norman, Donny Richclips, The Chipmunk, and White Sapphire. George Mustafi is still on the coax to the cabinet with Virgin Media. Yeah, we fibre right in the fucking door. It's deadly. It's like super. Roundy Mooney has landed. The Eagle has landed. Roundy, are you back at your gaff and all? Were you in France with your spanner? There's lots of questions. We need answers. Watching the live stream at 240p as it currently won't handle anything higher tonight for some reason. Oh dear. The colourist is still here. Mike Gardner is also still here. The Hika i28 is a capacitor leakage tester. It's also an LCR bridge. Well, no, it doesn't do well. It does say, it does ours though. Yeah, it's a nice bit of kit. For White Sapphire, we will show it up to the camera. And my late friend John didn't use it a whole lot either, because you will see when I switch it on, which I will do now. How bright the magic eye in this thing is. Check that out. Don't make them like that no more. Yeah. So, a nice bit of kit. That is a bright magic eye. That's the way they used to be. Mike Gardner has an IT28. Alan Hurst to be on the fibre if they got that finger. I don't know if I'm on fibre or coax to cab. Defo coax their house. Used to work for them. Still have cabinet keys somewhere. Don't find out. Home a while, was in Liverpool for the weekend. Good man, Roundy. Roundy knows how to enjoy himself. Nice to have you aboard, Roundy. I thought you would have been in France with your little blue spanner. Is it a Y63? It is a Y63. Very good. It is very low hours. He didn't use it a whole lot at all. I don't know if he ever used it. Well, he must have used it a bit, but no, he didn't see it in much use. I had many of those, Kev. Place was hopping over there. I have no issue opening cabinets, manholes, etc. What is TV, says Chipmunk? It's like YouTube, except you can only watch things at a certain time on it. Bloody hell, that's what my KB ER30 used to be like 50 years ago. Yeah, they don't last long. No, a couple of crews went out, possibly more on Saturday coming, dependent on progress. A handy bit of overtime. They'd probably be paid round the clock then, will they? Nice. Don't wear me the oscilloscope tube. Oh, the bloody oscilloscope is on. Very good. Never even twigged that. How did I not see that? Yeah. That's a Gold Star 100 meg scope. It's an OS 9100D, which I don't know if it's good or bad, but I've always found it excellent. So yeah, I don't want to wear out the tube and that. Fair play to you, Kev. How did I not even cop that was on? Anyway, I know what ATV is, obviously. Roundy Mooney, your dancing days are over then. Oh, no more dancing days for Roundy. The landowners have absolutely no right to take payment to allow someone other company installed services we don't want. The missus works for Voda and we pay less than 10 quid. The Slaughter has died. The Slaughter is dead. We all miss the Slaughter. We won't be. The Slaughter is floating. Yes, down the river once again. The Slaughter is going to help another Slaughter live, we hope. But the Slaughter is finished. Early 90s. Looking at it from here, I would say it is early 90s. Yeah, well, no, probably a bit later than that. I wonder if there's a date code on it somewhere. It was rescued out of a wee skip. And I don't think it's had a whole lot of use. Good scope skulls there. Good. They're nothing to do with gold at one time, where they're a completely different crowd. It's just because it starts at OS, and that's the gold scopes you start OS as well. Yeah, 75 home Kovacs is now you good to Dennis. Balance and so on and forth. Mid 90s when the LG Gold Star might bench at work. Kev B. Right, if Kev B is one on his bench at work, then it must be good enough. Gold were unrelated. Good. The mains transformer will not go up in a blaze of glory. I've had several of those scopes through here over the years, and every one of them blew up. I'm pissing them to on fire. I remember Gold, right? Yeah, the Maplins brand. I do remember them. They're an American brand. Lucky Gold Star. Now life's good. I see. So that's where it came from. Maplin Gold, I think, were top word. What have you done to your finger? I will answer no more questions about my finger. Except to say that I hurt it and now it's better. Almost. No, I just got a scratch on it. The little sock thing is supposed to stop the plaster falling off and getting dirty. For years, I had a Wayne Care scope, but it was a Hung Chang under the lid. Hung Chang, that just doesn't. Hung Chang does not instill confidence. When I think of metrology, I do not think Hung Chang. That's not the first. That's not the first name that comes to mind when I think of metrology. You know. George has 5 Fluke scopes, which are really Philips. Yeah, my Philips pattern generator here was made around that time, and it actually says Fluke on the top, big letters. It says Fluke, a division of Philips, or some nonsense like that. Both solid companies in their day. I think Fluke isn't quite as rock solid as it once was, though. I think there's a little bit of sweating the asset going on in Fluke as well. Well, when they re-released the Fluke 28.2, which is a sort of must be a near 15-year-old meter now. Super duper and excellent as it is, and we wouldn't say anything bad about it. When they re-released that as the 87 Max, and put it out there as a brand new meter, but the only thing that was new about it was the badge. That kind of says everything you need to know. What was the amplifier brand? That was some other brand inside without permission from the original manufacturer, buying bulk amps, taking them apart, rebuilding them in their own enclosure. That's a bit naughty, Dennis. Anyone here know what happened to the old guy who had the standards converter in his bedroom on the Secret Life machine? That sounds like Jerry Wells, yes, who passed away a couple of years ago. Yeah, indeed. Mm, yeah, poor old Jerry. So yeah, I think he died 4 or 5 years ago now. He was a good age though. Yeah, I mean he was well up there. There were top end valve amps under the name of Kerr McCosh. Kerr also being involved with the unfortunately named Wayne Kerr. Yeah, lovely guy, so enthusiastic. Yeah, I never met him, but I heard an awful lot about him. All right, the Vintage Wireless Museum is still there, though it isn't dead. It's one place I wish to visit at some stage. Don't even remember Doram, which was the retail arm of RS Components. That's not something I ever heard of. That's a new one on me, Michael. We have 33 people watching with 36 thumbs up. Never even knew they had a retail arm. They hated retail. Yeah, that sounds interesting, alright. You see, one thing about this live stream is there's so many interesting characters that participate in it. You always learn something new, no matter what. That is a fact. There were a few RS subsidiaries: Radio Resistor, Electro Components, Electromail. RS have gone right downhill in the last couple of years. I don't do any business with them anymore. They used to. Still is, but they would let you set up an account easily these days. Yeah. Kev B, I inquired to visit the museum, but he was told well at that point. He wasn't well at that point. When I did visit, he had passed, but I was lucky enough to tour his house. Now sold. As far as I know, the museum is still there. Yeah, they sold the house, but the museum is still in the back garden. They were separated into two separate properties, and there's a side entrance. Listen and learn. My mother's advice, and it was good advice. Good man, Alan. Um, that is interesting to know. Yeah, so it's still there. Yeah, Google will take you to it. It's something I do want to visit at some stage. And I will get there eventually. It's only a matter of time. Right, I'm going to leave you and love yous for the moment, and then I'll be back for more vintage radio and television fun. No, I'm not going to leave you with the one string Hendrix tonight. I have returned. Diesel heater is working well tonight. It's 18 degrees or thereabouts in the shed at the moment. Oh. And it's just ticking over. I reckon it's about 7 outside. Let me catch up with the chat. And by the way, I want to thank everyone for participating tonight. These are very good. Trade as the amateur offshot of RS Components, but was later closed down. RS launched the Electromail. Very good. The keyboard on the iPad doesn't work properly when it's plugged in to its IKEA power strip. Ooh. Which have our blue and white? That's the one I have. By the way, for anyone in the UK or close by countries, the Signals Museum is closing down May next year because the base itself is closing. Might be our last chance. That's a shame, isn't it? You think the amount of space that the RAF have, they could find somewhere else for the museum to go? What's going to happen? All the stuff auctioned off as well. Has anyone noticed the amount of stuff out of museums being auctioned lately? The Kilkenny is gone, but the tenants remains. There, oh there. They're donating the exhibits and stuff to other museums. Oh, that's good. And selling what's left to people who they deem appropriate. Good. Andy was talking about. If I know about that, and I only know about that from this stream. White's that word? Blue. Samos. Electromail. Something. Good night. Someone's gone. Someone's. Right, I'm off, chaps and chappies. Early start. I have a broken spacecraft to repair. Okay, Mr. Toswell. We wish you all the best. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks very much for dropping in. Always a pleasure. No Powell on my phone. Ooh, I wonder if George Stuffy up to speed. I haven't done a Powell in a while. Join the Telecoms Heritage Group due to John Joe, and it's in their latest magazine. Ah, super. No, Donny's at 26.5 degrees in where he is. Jeez. Yeah, hi Michael. Can't say I remember that designation. And Andy Doswell's off the bed, and that's it. I have caught up with the chat. Andy, would you not get Kev B and Kev UFU on the scene with you fixing them spacecraft? Two very capable gentlemen, both of experience of fixing and repairing avometers. Good night, Andy. Catch you in the next one. So that leaves us with participants being Alan Horst, Brum Adam, Patrick Bourne, Niall Conway, Andy Doswell, who's gone to bed, George Stuffy, Jim Simpson from Scotland, Kev B, Kev Michael Dranfield from Buxton, Norma Downey, Chipmunk, and the White Sapphire from Yorkshire. Watching the live of the Red Jaw. I didn't put up a poll. Perhaps you want a poll. Is that what you're saying? I'm sure we can make a poll. Because we all know the polls are good. Polls are good. People like to interact with your audience. Always good to interact. Cheers, gentlemen. No spacecraft in KVU's workshop tomorrow. That's a shame. Right. Let me think. I'm taking this open for the poll, right? And I have to think about it. And you know, when you can't think, polls are difficult. Rich Tips is still there. Good. Good to have you aboard. Someone's wrong, says Patrick Bond. Oh, no. Do. Ask whether we support DAB or FM. That's going to be a foregone conclusion. Nobody supports DAB. It's shit. Joe King does, but he's not here. FM forever. Yes. No, I'm done. FM. Yeah, no, that's not even a question. Do. There's a boring one. Think about it better. Right, let me catch up with the chat. Ooh, sideband, don't get into all that. Brum Adam inquires, have I been to the Hurdy-Gurdy Radio Museum? Yes, I have. Not only that, I did a series of videos a couple of years ago here where I restored to working condition a Bush TV62 for them. And we're going to go out and make a video on the place at some stage. We haven't got around to it yet. crackle must be invisible. Oh, you see. Yeah, it depends how quickly you've posted, you see. Yeah, it's live chat participants are only in the last 10 minutes, I think. You see. You see, I say that to make you post, so then it goes up, you see, and then I get you involved again. You see. Ask whether we support Dabber FM, wasn't it? Long wave, medium wave is my garden. SSB 27 megahertz. Whoa, George! I don't know what do your radio people think of that? 27 megahertz nonsense. No idea what this card is. Mm. Good man, Kev. Kev's obviously not a Discord user either. Discord is, if I remember correctly, for young people. Chaotic Discord, the punk band, if that's any use. Do you ever listen to The Exploited, Michael? Michael trying to be a chat platform. It mostly came from because it's gamers. So it's tweaked towards younger people, which is why people here tend to hate it. Ooh, chipmunk. But if you tweak it right, it can be like this stream. And yes, what George says. A lot to be said for it, if I remember correctly. Channels are still live. Who posts at 4 a.m.? Why Discord? I don't know, but I might come on here at 4 a.m. someday and come on live just for the crack, see what happens. Interesting. We have 30 people watching now with 38 thumbs up. Internet relay chat. Oh, see, every day is school day on the Odge Nodge. You see, why can't people just write that down? Right, internet relay chat. You see, I don't even fucking know what that means. Everyone knows IRC, including Odge Nodge now. Well, now I'm up to speed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, come on, give me a chance, lads. I'm sitting here in a white coat in 1952 fixing Valve TVs. The fuck IRC. My. In for a remote control. Kevin, for the win. Right, let's see how the poll went. That's an interesting poll. That's an interesting poll. I'm sure someone else is going to want to vote. Somebody is going to want to vote in that poll before I close it. Because the poll is... Right, I'm going to close the poll. Have we all done voting? Very interesting poll. Someone's going to get slide. Right. Nobody has voted for this card, even though there's clearly some people who like this card here. Interesting. 25 votes. 80% prefer YouTube over forums. That's interesting. That's interesting. We've been talking about forums there recently and what they have to offer and whatnot. Chipmunk voted for all three. That's an interesting thing though. Taking Discord out, but 80% of people prefer YouTube over forums. I wonder why that is. That's interesting because I think forums have an awful lot to offer, and it will be very sad to see forums die. Anthony Mulligan is here, and we send greetings and salutations to Mr. Mulligan. International Resistive Company, apparently. We're only allowed me one vote. George Mustafa uses Discord, but it doesn't mean that he likes it. Yes, but he does enemy stuff on Discord, which is off topic here. Kevin Wu says, you were a bus driver. I was for 8 years. I'm a qualified HGV mechanic as well. I served my time on buses. But now I'm not interested in bus driving anymore. I except for half cab stuff. Maybe the odd Atlantean. Or other oddball Irish stuff which you wouldn't be familiar with. But the idea of driving an Enviro 400 around with 20 junkies in it just doesn't appeal to me anymore. Is that why you once rode over something with a double decker? Yes, that was a Route Master. And that was what was it I drove over with the Route Master? It was made by the crowd that made this. A Steepletone. It was a Steepletone record player which needed to die. And it did die. Under the back wheels of a London Route Master bus. London Country. It's a grey one. But yeah, the London Country Route Master ended the Steepletone. Yes, buses are cool. The Steepletone had to die. The only thing I was afraid of when I reversed over the Steepletone record player was that the shaft, the spindle for the turntable would go through the wheel. But, and we discussed maybe bending it or something. I said, fuck it, we'll go over it. And luckily enough, it didn't go through the tyre. Yeah. Then I drove over the Evo, and of course it worked perfectly. Forums allow direct interaction with members who ask for an offer info on each other and stuff. Yes. Radio Border is on from the county of Waterford. Good evening, sir. Good to have you aboard. The last vintage bus I rode on was an Ultrabus Bristol RE, a bit north of your location, but nonetheless. Well, funny enough, I'm involved with the Transport Museum here in the Republic, and we recently sold our Ultrabus Bristol RE to a chap up the north, and it's gone back to its home country, which is interesting. Wouldn't be my cup of tea. It's amazing that Ultrabus were able to force Bristol into keeping those fucking things, building them way up into the 80s. I mean, unbelievable. Nobody had ordered Bristol REs since 1972 or something, and they were still getting them in 84. I always thought they were a good bus. A lot of people didn't like them. They were a bit oddball for down here, but I thought they were a good solid bus. Gardner engine, super duper. Of course, the other thing was Ultrabus had a severe shortage of buses due to some sort of issue or other. They used to go on fire or something a lot. But anyway, yeah. Mom, Donny hasn't been on a bus since 1989. They did indeed, Kev. One of my Walkmen, ooh, like it, in the early 90s, ended its life under a Southampton City Transport bus, an Atlantean. It fell off my belt while cycling next to it. The cassette survived. Jim Simpson was a Daimler man. Of course, Jim was Glasgow. I think Glasgow Daimler Fleet Lines. I think Glasgow or Daimler Fleet Lines are like. Yeah. Oh man, bread and cream at the time. Daimler. Yeah. Daimler Fleet Lines. Gardner engines again. We've a small amount of CIE and bus paraphernalia here, but the only thing that you lads will recognise is this. Of course. That there is my father's PSV licence badge. He was a bus driver for a couple of years with Midland Red. Before he joined British Rail as a train driver. But yeah, he did a stint of bus driving, and he presented that to me at my wedding, funny enough. I went to buy components from the shop in town when I was a kid. Discovered I had lost the PCB when I got home, but was looking at it on the bus. It was a circular route, so I went to the opposite bus. Waiting for it to come round. Got it back to good man. George Christophe's brother was at the buses as well, and he ended up becoming a supervisor on the Underground. Interesting. Kevin Webb says we'd REVR Fleetline Roadliner. Not familiar with the Roadliner. Nationals are now alright. Atlanteans, Leopards, in the Potteries motor traction. Yeah. Yeah, Fleet Lines. Yeah, we didn't have any of that stuff here apart from Atlanteans. The Nationals, CIE had fallen out with Leyland by the time the National came out. And then went back to their own business of building buses themselves. The story of the Irish bus industry is quite interesting for anyone who would be interested in transport, heritage and stuff, and how things happen and why things happen. Like, why did we not buy Nationals here in Ireland? Why did we end up running yokes around with two-stroke Detroits in them? You know, questions. Interesting. The Roadliner was Daimler's single-decker answer to the Leopard. Ah, okay. Never heard of it before, Kev. Mum was a ticket clerk for Hanson Dorset buses before she became an auxiliary nurse. Dad worked as an electrician for British Rail at Eastleigh. Ah. My father was one of the last men in the UK to be trained up as a steam engine driver or steam engineer. And because while steam was long gone off the mainline passenger service, the National Coal Board still had several steam engines. And he was trained up, I don't know, must have been the late 70s or something. And he ran out of a depot in Colville. And the engine that he drove was called Cadley Hill. And it was running, it was still being used as a shunter in the yard in 86 or maybe 87. Yeah, steam was around a lot longer than people think. Before I was made redundant, I worked with someone who was being born while I was being signed out of the hospital on my first day of being a baby. Get big. Dennis, most Amstrad stuff was pretty poor, though it was. Just a couple of miles up the road from me is JCB. Of course, they bought out Wrightbus at Ballymena. That's right. Last time I was in the UK, I drove up that road. It's at some site, isn't it? You're on the motorway, and the next thing you see this giant factory, the side of the motorway, JCB and giant 60-foot letters. Incredible. Some site. I don't know if buying out Wrightbus was a good financial move down the long term, but time will tell. Of course, there's an interesting story in its own right. Wrightbus, and all the business that went on with that. The gentleman who owned it set up a religion, uh, as you can do. He set up his own religion, and then it sort of turned into a cult. And he was going around Belfast, or he had people going around Belfast and Derry taking heroin addicts off the streets and bringing them in and putting them in boarding houses and making them work, building the buses and not paying them and all this kind of stuff. There was mad shit going on in Wrightbus. At the time that the Boris Masters were coming out of there, especially. Unbelievable what went on. And there's this giant just down from Wrightbus, and he hid all the money in the church. Right? He acid stripped the business. And he hid all the money in the church. And you drive up there, we were up there, I'm quite familiar with the factory and that. It's an old cigarette factory. And just about 2 miles down the road from it, there's this huge church just in the middle of nowhere. It's massive. It's like a big warehouse with a cross on it. And that was your man's church, and he had them all living in there and all this kind of stuff. Weird fucking business, but made a lot of money. But I think they went after him in the end. But yeah, it all went bang. Patrick Bourne says, I have a reel-to-reel tape recorder about the last time the steam train here in Ireland. Oh. Like, I very vaguely remember something of the sort, but did the 50-volt bulbs on railway carriages on the LNER back in the 60s? Yeah, 50. It must have been. Yeah, I can't remember. It was on the way to Michael Dranfield's place. Thereabouts. The building by the side of the road is just a parts department. The factory is another 3 or 4 miles towards Ashbourne. Ah, yeah, I went through Ashbourne. Yeah, that was on the way. Yeah, I remember now. That was on the way to Michael Dranfield's because I went through Ashbourne. Wouldn't that be right? No, I went through Ashbourne on my way to Colville because it's the far side. Because I came up and went over the Cat and Fiddle, which is Macclesfield. You go across the Cat and Fiddle down into Buxton then, is that right? Or do you go through Ashbourne before you get to Buxton? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. The Cat and Fiddle was an interesting adventure in a van full of televisions. So I'm driving up out of Macclesfield, and there's this sign at the side of the road that says, police warning. If lights are illuminated, do not travel on this road. And I was all like, Jesus Christ, what's wrong with these arseholes over here? Don't travel on the road. The lights are on. So I fucking full power up the hill, you know. Christ almighty, it's an unbelievable road. For anyone that hasn't travelled the Cat and Fiddle, it's well worth going. Good spin on the motorbike. George Christophe says, I used to go through Colville every night in the Arctic. Ah, well then, you probably used to drive past my outlet's gaff because he is on the Ashby Road. He lives in a place called Synope. There's like 12 or 14 houses at the side of the road in a row. And that's where he lives, about half a mile outside of Colville itself. So there you go. Small world. Chipmunk, White Sapphire, the ones I am on about were the same, but used by BR in the 70s. 4 lamps in series across 750 volt of traction. Ooh, that's a bad idea. Never take out a bulb out live. The arc will be angry, I'm sure it will be. That's right, yeah. George Christophes is driven past the Elfless gaff, so. If you remember the house with a Russian motorbike and sidecar with a tree growing through it at one stage, that's the Elfless gaff. Yeah, that'd be right. The Cat and Fiddle's a dangerous owl kip. Yeah. Don't know how those TVs got to Michael in one piece. Going that road. Look out for Cloudmaker. He drives his lorry all over the West Midlands. He keeps mentioning the Cat and Fiddle. You see, I think there's a motorway that runs sort of parallel to the Cat and Fiddle, but I think it's actually quicker to go on the Cat and Fiddle. It's a roundabout way. Obviously, goes around the mountains or whatever. But yeah, some nasty old fucking steep old drops off that road if it went wrong. We have 36 people watching now. Would you believe that? Cat and Fiddle was on TV once. The most dangerous road in England. I well believe it. Lount, as George Mustafi says, I think that's when you go down to the roundabout past Sign Open. It's the first left. Takes you out there. I might be wrong, but I think that's. I wouldn't know my way around there brilliantly now, but I can obviously find my way to the Owlad's gaff and what have you. The Salters Gate on the North York Moors is also popular with motorbikers who like to play Russian roulette. Yeah, well, you know, live fast, die hard. It's cool, you know. Beautiful part of the country. Can be bleak in winter, oh yeah, but pleasant in the summer, yeah. Chipmunk used a bad word and then it was retracted. I don't know why. That's shy. Yeah, Cat and Fiddle. In a van full of television sets for Michael Dranfield. I can see a typo there, right? That's shite waffle. That's terrible. W is just above S, yeah. Rob is here. Hello, Rob. How are you? We hope you're keeping well out there. I think I drove the Cat and Fiddle on the way to Mr. Days. So, Kev B, that must be the road to get to, you know, you can't go to Michael Dranfield's gaff without going the Cat and Fiddle. Although, to be fair, the road up to Michael Dranfield's shop isn't much better either. I don't know what's the story with Buxton. What's wrong with a bit of flat land? Like every street in Buxton is like this or like that. Even the night we went out for a few pints in the curry and all that, he brought me around to show me his old house that he grew up in. And he said like there was a TV shop across the road, and that's where I got interested. And even the television was even the house that he was brought up in is on a hill on a slant, like madness, mad stuff, mad stuff. Nothing on the bench tonight, says Rob. Oh, what television you're looking at? Loads of shit on the bench. If you live in the Midwest of America for a while, you will love hills. Yeah, well, that flat. I have heard a couple of people who are out in Nevada in the desert. I know one chap who has a relation in a place called Pahrump, which is very famous because your man Art Bell, the radio fella from America, who's dead now, was from. But this thing that freaks you out about, it's so flat, and you can see for 100 miles in this direction. And it gets into your head. I found that about Holland. Holland is all on the flat. And it's very odd. You think to yourself, what the fuck's wrong with the odd hill here and there, You think they'd even just bring a load of sand and dump it in one spot to make a bit of a hill. That's the West. It's not the Midwest, yeah. But yeah, you're quite right in that. But it's still very flat, very far away than the mountains in the distance. What mountains have they got there? It snows there too in winter too, which is weird. Alan Horst inquires, have I got any 405 line sets lined up? I have a few 405 line sets up my sleeve, but the next set that's going to be going on the bench is going to be a DS. That's the next one that's for the bench. And it's going to be just a run up and say job. And we'll go from there. But it's in nice cosmetic condition. And then after that, I have another one that's in excellent cosmetic condition. But it has a bad line output transformer. Ooh. But we shall see. I live halfway up a hill, so I don't get flooded. There's a lot to be said for living on a hill, George. I agree with you. The biggest hill in town was the freeway on-ramp. Watch the full go past. What's the SIG-Gen under the mirror? A Nombrex. See, Michael Dranfield has an eye that's as sharp as an eagle's. It is indeed a Nombrex. It's a Nombrex. And I often wondered about these Nombrexes, and I have asked on forums and so forth, did anyone ever use these serious, in a workshop? Because, I don't know, they're a bit... To me, it always looked like a child's toy. Now, I paid the pricely sum of £2.10 for this when I bought it. It does work. It does work. And what I did with this, I've never used it in anger, to be honest. I stuck an LED in it because I kept leaving it on when I was playing with it. So I stuck a dial light. It actually lights up really nice. We turn off the light here. Yeah, it lights up quite nicely. But that's the Nombrex. Now it is quite good. Like it has a frequency, a crystal marker on it as well, so you can adjust it. So like it will be accurate if you do use it. And it is a lovely case, and it does AF output and all. And you can even adjust the AF frequency on the modulation and all this kind of stuff. So Speedy didn't make a broadcast communications receiver with this in that style as well. If Eddystone made something that size, that'd been cool. But yeah, it does work. Weighted flywheel as well. Bit of thought went into it. Yeah, so for £2.10, I couldn't. I got it at the MVCF, but someone else obviously bought it at a radiophile auction at some stage. Camera won't focus. He won't focus. Anyway, it says radiophile auction, which is kind of nice. 18th of October 2015. Like a little. It's like a little memorial to Charles Miller stuck on it. So yeah, somebody's off the bed. I'll just say good night. The Crackle is off the bed. Mr. Crackle, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will catch you again in the next one. Take care and don't work too hard during the week. What would the police have said about me? Well, there's not a whole lot they can say. I mean, the customs man doesn't say too much. I do get stopped, and I do explain, and they're not too interested. You know, once it's not a. Have you any cigarettes, tobacco, or drink? No. Have you any drugs? No. Any explosives, Paddy? No. That's pretty much it. They're not interested. You know, what are the old televisions worth? They're only scrap value. And that's it. I had a couple of CB SWR meters just for the backlights. Yeah, well, I appreciate that too. I like nicely backlighted dials and stuff. I won't judge it. In fact, I've added backlights to stuff quite regularly. I like things to be lit up. I just have a thing about things being lit up. Yeah, no, it's nice. Right, I'm gonna go again, lads. And I'll be back in a minute. We'll see how many of you remain, and we'll stay on for another little while if there's more than 20 of you here anyway. Now, I is back. How many of them remain? Ugh. Yeah, it's nice and toasty in here now. It's gotten up to the dizzy heights of 19.5 degrees. Poor Adam got a fright with the Sonata. I think the Sonata got the last fright though. My old Maycom EM27, those dinky little solid 3mm bulbs, many blue. I saw them all out for amber LEDs underdriven for that perfect colour and light level. better than the original, but nice one, Dennis. I like the sound of that. Amber LEDs are just super. I am a fan of amber coloured LEDs. White Tavern says she spies with her little eyes. I'm beginning with FC. Careful what you say, Odge Nudge. I spy something that could be an inverter. Could be, yeah. Frequency counter. Ooh. Frequency counter. There is a frequency counter somewhere. Where's the frequency counter? What else have we got? When I got pulled over a few years ago, I was totally sober. Always good. And was only off to McDonald's, but it was going via the bottle bank. Cop pulled me over for a dead rare light. The entire car stank of wine and there were empty bottles all over the place. I said I knew I'd get pulled over. They laughed and didn't even breathalyze me. Good night, Crackle. Yes, Crackle's gone. Filing cabinet. See, yes. I must finish putting all my shit in them. I see a PP1. No cowbells this time. You see, I like it to be a surprise sometimes. Clive would be in Speedos, but he wouldn't need it to be too warm to be in Speedos either. Any excuse. PP1. I don't think of a PP1. There is a PP6 though. Whoever spotted that. PP6. No, I don't have a PP7. No, I need PP6. What else have I got? Oh yeah, I have got PP1s. Yes, the 6-fold. Yes, of course. Forget about them. See, they're not open the shelf yet. Indeed. No flame throwing for a while either. No. We don't have a lighter to hand for the start. AliExpress is good for odd LEDs in bulk. They are, and I have bought quite a few of them. Now I have to try and use them. Something too many. What's the Blackstar Thunder instrument on top of the scope? Ooh, it's not Blackstar or Thunder. It is, well, it's badged Koenig, and it's a frequency counter. Oh, there was a frequency counter in shot, you see? Oh, clever. That was one out of John's shop, which he bought off Donberg many years ago. There it is. It focused that time and all. Did you see that? It still works. It does still work. Or did work. It should work. Will we plug it in for the crack and see does it light up? It is quite some time since it was on. Will it still work? Who knows? Of course it will. There it is. Comes on. Perfect. Super duper. You know. Reef explosion in 5-4. Hasn't got one. We went through that experience many years ago with it in the shop. Because the reef was across the mains unswitched. And I did that one day. But other than that, I never felt it. He never used it. Very rare. The odd time he'd use it. He wouldn't go for the scope. He'd just go for that to see if the decoder was running or whatever. A Ford branded D-cell on the calendar with tidy as you work. Yes, the tidy as you work calendar. Tidy as you work. has not worked out as well as we would have liked. However, we're going to get back on track, lads. Just on the frequency counter, right? So that was, back in the 80s, he would have bought that 200 megahertz frequency counter. Probably cost him an arm and a leg, or at least he's flew. And there, I got this off the Chinese people for a $5, and you can do all sorts of shit with it. And you can use it as a frequency counter on the radio, a frequency readout, and you can put in the offset for the UIF, and you can do all sorts of stuff. And that was a $5. So, and if that went wrong, you wouldn't bother messing around with TTL and stuff. You'd just go plop in the window, and just as good. I2C. I don't know, the frequency counter thing. I don't know. Does it say I2C on it? It doesn't. It doesn't say that on it. It says USART. Dennis can zoom in on his monitor. I'm in trouble now. Can I zoom in on mine, actually? I never even tried that. No. Maybe if I go full screen. No, even still it won't. Unhated advice. I wouldn't mind. It was my own advice. I was the one who put the fucking sign up there to remind myself to tidy as I worked. However, we're getting back on track slowly. As I put all the crap into these filing cabinet drawers, which will have little labels on and also variable resistors and battery adapters, which are handy. No more buying C's and D's anymore. AA's all the way. Toggle switches in general. Big capacitors. What you got in there? Clean and stuff. Stuff in here as well. O-rings. I don't know what I'm going to use then. Resistors. Yeah, lots of fun stuff. Nice drawers. They are nice drawers because I got them off you, Michael. Mr. Tranfield kindly donated the drawers to me. After I said to him, Michael, I've been looking for a set of drawers just like that. So that's why I didn't give him a choice. But however, I did give him a heap of television sets. That didn't work. But Michael likes to relive his earlier days. And of course, I'm sure Michael got stung once or twice in the ex-rental disposal sales. So, it was nice for some dodgy paddy to turn up in a van full of televisions and go, I'll tell you, boss, now, they're all working grand. They were working grand. They had them rented out there now for 15 years. And, they're only used by old women that were colourblind with squinty eyes. They didn't use them a whole lot now. See, yeah. Sure, I'll just take all them drawers off, when I be on my way, sir. Two dark room lights. Where? Oh yeah, because there's one here, look. He really is sharp, isn't he? There's some eagle-eyed viewers on this channel, that is true. Absolutely. No one spotted the Evo 40 though. Draws are drawers. Something you don't want to get mixed up. One has a lot of pockets, but I would not look good. Yes, that is my Model 40, which sees used from time to time. Not too often, though. A couple of years since he used it last. But as you can see, the writing is not worn off him. He has had little use. A bit of time to get the sets working. Indeed, Michael. Indeed. I'd like to see you get the dual standard pie I gave you going. Well, it is going. It just needs finishing. There is a good line out for transformer in it that has the wrong tube and what have you, but you can get it. You can make it work again, which would be good. It is 1 minute. It is less than 1 minute to 11 o'clock at night, and we have 29 viewers with 45 thumbs up. Interesting. So, will we keep going for another little while? Or will I pull the plug? Let's see. I'll do a poll. Don't answer in the chat. I'll do a poll. Someone sent up a heart. I like that. Keep hitting that little button for your hearts and your funny faces and all. I'd like to see that going up. Someone's losing their shit on it. Give me a Sharpie. I will draw on your chest. Oh, you have a chest of drawers. Drawers. They're drawers. Drawers. I don't know how to say. Well, in Ireland we were taught drawers. Maybe English is different to Irish English. Does Mrs. Odgnods mind you burning the midnight oil? No, Alan. She's in bed. So we're good. Or she might be watching, but she wouldn't be in a position to type back. Midnight Diesel, exactly. It's thumping away there. I must check it. I haven't checked in a few days to see how much it's born. Probably want to top up. Certainly cheaper than the electric anyway. The old Philips dual blow heater, the infrared heater, has not been used at all this year yet. It'll be interesting to see how well the diesel heater copes when it gets very cold. But so far, I'm pretty impressed with it. There. I've been looking for a building site office as a new workshop to expand on this a little bit, where I have more wall space and stuff. But yeah, Bruno just sent me one that's down in Kerry. It's a bit far. Midnight Diesel. Space. You should buy yourself a few containers. There's room in your yard for a container or two, Michael. Have you thought about buying another industrial unit or 5? The poll results from the poll are in with 23 votes. End poll. 9% of people want me to fuck off and leave you alone, which is fair enough. Containers equals insurance issues. Buying a 40-foot used porta cabin? No, it'll be a container. as in container. And it wouldn't be a 40 foot, it'd be a 20 foot. We can't fit a 40 foot in around the house. And getting to deal with the crane and all that shit over the gaff is too expensive. Plus, we have overhead power lines, which complicate things even further. So 20 foot is the max. I wasn't aware of insurance issues with containers, Dennis. Very high risk of theft. Anyways, they're in my case, and it would be in my case too if you got one in his yard, is they're in his case. Big caravan, could get a caravan, but I'm not so much into a caravan. A caravan sitting outside for 20 years full of televisions is not going to last. Container will last more or less forever once you give it a bang of fucking oxide paint every 5 years. Is my container full now? My container is at capacity, more or less. I could fit more stuff into the container, but then I would not be able to get into things in the container. Yeah, 20 footer. So I think a 20 foot workshop, you know, that I can't punch the ceiling in, would be just super. Anyway, we'll say it's down the road. There's no mad panic on it. If I come across round cheap enough, and I have a man with a rigid truck with a high ab on it that can move it for me. So if I come across one that's cheap or free or whatever, we'll grab one, and then we'll have a new workshop. And there's no real issue with here chipmunk with having a container or two in a garden. It's only if someone makes a complaint, and my neighbours are not likely to make a complaint. So, other than that, the council aren't interested. Roll in a 9 fence post, yeah. I know. The old high ab comes in and just goes, ooh, that's super. Keep hitting that button, lads. Hearts, hundreds. And that smiley thing, I don't know what that is. What's that? It's like a firework or something. I don't know. And smiley faces and hearts. Yeah. Lash that out. Just around it in Leyland. I read that as just around it in Leyland. So I was like, oh yeah, buy a container and then park 4 Leyland Nationals around it. That one, no. Leylandis are a bollocks. I had to cut a row of them out of here between me and my neighbour, and he built a wall. Yeah, I did actually think of, like, I was in discussion about getting a bus and using that to store the TVs in. But then again, it's still not. With a container, you can line it and stuff, you know. No, I did have a mad idea a couple of years ago, and it's not totally dead yet. Well, it's dead for now, but it's still there. It's not dead. About having a mobile television museum in a bus, and then I go around to vintage rallies and go, this is televisions. This is what a squinty television looked like in the 40s. So on and forth. On the subject of terminology, what the hell is a Sharpie? Marker, felt tip, pen, and a stretch can even live with magic marker. But when did they go and become Sharpies? That free advertising. Yeah, I don't know, Richie. That's an odd one, alright. With a container, you can put another on top. I think Mrs. Odgson should probably pull the line on, you know. Oh yeah, I've got 4 containers high of televisions here now. That wouldn't float. That wouldn't float, Michael. You know, wife and kid just probably wouldn't win for all that. Yeah, well, then I'll be into a forklift or something like that. Um, yeah, but only say Sharpie if I have a Sharpie. Yeah, I don't know about the Sharpie thing. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be stacking containers. I know a fella has a container, top of container, in a field of his, and it's a pain in the arse, alright. Yeah, there's me with a JCB load all there, moving me container around, huh? No, that wouldn't be a goer. You were obviously never into tying, neither was I, of course. When my buddy swim, bro, madam is going to bed and we don't blame him. Good night, sir. Good night, Kev B as well. It was good to have you both aboard. And we'll catch us all in the next one. Super. Kevy, wherever will. Good night, KB. Good man, Kev. 3 meters in Bedford have 3M in Bedford have the driver's restroom in a container that is on a stack of four. Great views, but the walk up is a killer. I'd imagine it is. Jeez. A four high container. No, indeed, Alan. Um, can't you put a face container up and install a lift? No idea what Richie is on about. Neither do I. All right, Kev, you will. We'll say good night to you too. Yeah, there was a lot of containers knocked over in the port last year here. It was quite entertaining, all right. Night, Kev. Thanks for calling in. It's a candle white sapphire. Ah, yes, vandalism. Nothing like it. Yes, proper graffiti. Not this squiggly thing that makes no sense. No, it certainly does not use marker pens. There was one fella in Sarge years ago who had a Yamaha Aerox scooter moped. And so he decided to call himself Aerox, and he fucking spray painted Aerox everywhere. It was just nonsense. Yeah, no time for it either. Nonsense. Uh, Dave O'Toole is here. How are we doing? Not too bad, Dave. Thank you for calling in. Right, I'm gonna say goodnight. Sorry, Dave, you've only called in, but I'm on since 8, and it's now 20 past 11. So it's time I went in to get some shut eye. However, you will see me again next Sunday, all being well, and we will talk more stuff then. Hopefully, I will get a video out between now and then. Richie Height says, you'd be surprised how much skill goes into a good tag, but CIE might feel different. Obviously, you don't want it on your Gable wall either. No. Fucking don't. And if I ever caught anyone, when I worked for CIE, if I ever caught anyone with a marker or a spray can to the side of a bus or the train, I'd kick the shit out of them. Now, that's how I feel about them. Fucking arseholes. Anyway. White Sapphire says she'll try not to sleep through the first hour the next time. Oh yeah, quite alright. To be fair, a marker on the side of breading will be nice. Avoid. You'd have graffiti if it was a real band, yeah. Well, you'd be in for a few quid then. Right, lads, we'll say goodnight and we'll catch you again in the next one. Take care, mind yourselves out there, and we'll see you soon. All right, good night.